aka Geeks.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to AKA Geeks and our movie breakdown of Captain America Civil War. I'm Sean, and with me I have my wonderful co-hosts. Say hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Thank you for that. So with me we have Brendan, our very own Vault Boy, and the Italian stallion, Lynn. He's not Italian, though.
Yeah,
it's around.
Little Latino.
It's supposed to be
Latino flavor over here, man. What's up with that?
Dude, we got the whitest Latinos in the podcast here with you and I.
Hey, if you want, I can always call my cousins and we'll get the dark side of the Latino family.
Yeah, my cousins, my Mexican side, they're darker than I am as well. So we're here to talk some Captain America Civil War, and comparative. This one is a one side versus the other, Team Cap versus Team Iron Man. We've had a few other things going on lately that we also talked about. Batman vs Superman. I think it's safe to say, unlike those, Captain America Civil War has received a majority of positive reviews. And I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think of this film? Lynn, let's start with you. Are you on that positive side, or are you giving this a positive review?
Dude, without a shadow of a doubt, this is not. There's nothing overly negative about this film overall. So, yeah, anybody who walks out of there hating this film, they either have some, really resentment against themselves, or they just don't like movies in general. Because you cannot walk away from this movie, feeling bad.
What about you, Brendan? How you feeling about this film, dude?
99% I like it. I have my nitpicks here and there, but it's nothing like, I don't think I could really, pick it apart like we did with Batman.
Yeah.
I didn't, when I walked out of Batman, I walked out and what the fuck? I couldn't, my head couldn't wrap around all the stuff that was wrong with it.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to start, and with Captain America, it took me a couple days to be like, well, that was kind of weird, but okay, whatever. I only had one real nitpick, which I'll get into later, but, yeah, overall, I liked it. It's way better than the last one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I don't think there's any comparison to be made with Batman and Superman versus this movie. I think this one's head and shoulders above that film, and I think it's easy to see, especially with this one, the groove that Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, and the Russo brothers are in right now, with how well they're adapting all these little storylines, putting things together, and just making quality movies. Not just superhero movies, but movies in general, and also action movies, because there are some action scenes in this film that are knock your socks off type action scenes. Lynn, tell me some of your favorite parts, some of the stuff that really stood out to you in this film, buddy.
Dude, favorite parts. Jesus Christ, we cannot say.
Let's keep it to the three to five parts. Name a few parts that just really caught your attention. I'm sure that we have some different ones as well.
I'll start with the beginning with the whole Crossbones thing. I thought that was well done, and it led to a lot of things happening. Why we have the quote-unquote Registration Act, the Sokovia Papers, but we'll get more into that. I liked that fight. He was basically on his own. It was like a revenge mission for him, and it just picked off where Winter Soldier started. It was Cap's team of Avengers. There was no Iron Man, nobody from his side, but it was just his team working together and gelling together. And it seems like they've been doing it for months by this point. Of course, you got the airport scene. I mean, that's like the end-all, be-all scene right there. That's like a comic fan's orgasm come to life. It's like, where you got to see both sides really going at it at one another. And then the last battle and Zemo as a character really intrigued me as well, because he was a villain that made sense, and he actually helped develop the Black Panther character a little bit better. They're both on the same wavelength. So I did like that relationship between the two towards the end. But other than that, yeah, everything else we'll get more into detail.
What about you, Brendan? Some standout moments for you.
It's hard. Because part of the standout was part of the problem I had with it. Spider-Man was definitely a standout for me, obviously. Love Spider-Man. I had actually a lot of my discussions that I've had with coworkers and friends have been about which Spider-Man was the best out of all of them. And I got in a big argument with my friend about Maguire.
Right.
And I was like, well, you gotta understand that was a product of the time. And it was like, I don't want to say father of the superhero movies, but it was like one of the first big ones.
It's like the uncle.
Yeah. So like I liked. Plus he was old, and they put him in high school, so it didn't fit in. Looking back, it didn't. You know, you're like, why is that old man in high school?
Right.
So he did, in terms of that high school Peter, he didn't get to do a very good job, I think, but he was a really good Peter Parker. Tom Holland is a fantastic Spider-Man. I think as Spider-Man, they captured, at least for me, how Spider-Man is, because they didn't do that. They didn't do the quips and the jokes as much, or organically as they did in this one, comparative to the original Spider-Mans. So that was definitely a big part that I liked. Obviously, the airport fight scene. I loved Chad Boswick.
Yeah,
he was fantastic as the Panther.
It makes me look forward to the solo picture, man. Because if they lead in straight from that, I cannot wait to see him in that.
He definitely adds some gravitas to it, man.
Yeah. I really like Ant-Man too. What little bit he got to be in, and
hysterical.
Obviously his part in the airport, which I thought they did a very good job keeping that under wraps, because that's the kind of thing that leaks, and
you know,
I'm glad it didn't get ruined.
You mentioned that, you know, especially the airport scene when they're all running at one another, they really did a phenomenal job with editing out both Ant-Man and Spider-Man out of the initial trailers that we originally saw.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well done. Then to turn around and see that scene with everybody was like, whoa! So I give them props for that.
I want to touch on that in a little bit. I definitely had some standout moments. Some of the biggest moments that really caught me were some of the stuff by Robert Downey Jr., some of the acting moments that he had in this film, where he really got to show like the emotional growth or the devastation that he was feeling.
Guilt.
You know, when he's pleading, guilt, hurt, anguish. Yeah. He's like pleading with Captain in a couple parts in this film, where he like almost loses his temper. And he's like, "Come on!" and he tries to restrain himself to try to talk about why we need to stick together. And he's pleading with Cap, and Cap's like sticking to his moral high ground, and he can't. Like. That acting moment for me, that was a great moment. The moment, and this is spoiler heavy, of course.
Of course. The
other part of Downey with the acting is when he sees the video of Winter Soldier killing his parents, and he's like, "You knew? You know, God damn it, you son of a bitch! Tell me if you knew." And Captain America tells him, and he feels like disgusted by Captain America. You know, he kind of irks away from him, and I was just like this is to me. And I heard someone say this before, and I kind of agree with it. Like, this development of his character, I think, helped bring him back in. Because he was always saying, it has to be the right story, this and that. I don't want to do more. And I think this development of his character was awesome and helped bring him back. And that's just a little bit of different variety of some of the stuff we're talking about, the moments that we like, I think. Right. Something that you mentioned about the trailers that we saw, which I noticed in a few scenes. They changed up some things, like to keep us guessing and kind of... make us think certain things. With the two teams charging at each other in the airport scene, they did a good job of editing out Ant-Man and Spider-Man. I thought that was great. Another part that I think they slightly changed with just the editing of the trailer was when Captain America goes, "Sorry, but he's my friend," and then Iron Man goes, "So was I." In the trailer, it sounded like he was like saddened. In the movie, it sounded like they cut it slightly different, and he was like, "So was I." Like, he was, like, making a point and not sad and, like, more like, it's over. Yeah. I don't know if you guys noticed that. It sounded like there was a little slight different editing there, which made it a little different than the trailer, so it kind of felt new or refreshing, I guess.
They did a lot of that. They're really good at editing their trailers to make it look like something else or sound like something else. So I didn't really think about that during the movie, though.
Oh yeah, to me it caught my attention, but that's just one little thing. So okay, let's talk about what Lynn mentioned. Big old comic fan orgasm, a 17-minute orgasm.
Oh,
that is.
And the reason, and I'm going to go into that with the perspective of having a 7-year-old with me and having his reaction, especially to a certain web crawler, because to me this is his Spider-Man, because this is the guy he's going to remember, and he's seen the previous one and nothing's ever really gravitated him. But we'll get into that when we get a little bit more. But yeah, it's
that's going to be a good perspective.
Yeah.
Overall, that scene, 17 minutes of an amazing action scene. I don't know how they could have done that much better. Every character in there was doing something, fighting, getting their little moments of where they're kind of getting the upper hand on somebody. Maybe we see different sides of this Spider-Man. That's a pretty awesome job by Tom Holland. We see him, strut his stuff, but at the same time, we still get to see that he's a little naive or a little bit, wet behind the ears with his fighting abilities.
He's definitely young.
He's still got lots to learn. And then they show that the connection, like maybe Spider-Man has with Captain America, with where are you from? Queens, Brooklyn. Like that. Oh man, that's awesome. Two of my favorite parts in the airport fight involve Ant-Man.
Yeah.
First of all, when he says, "Here, throw this truck at this little thing," and he throws it, and it practically kills a War Machine. Oh, I thought that was a water truck. Oh man! And then the part where he goes into Tony's suit, and he goes, "Who?" And Tony goes, "Who's talking?" He goes, "Stop your conscience. We haven't spoken in a while."
I thought the quips with Ant-Man and Spider-Man, considering that they were the lighter side of each team, mirrored each other so perfectly, and I would have loved the interaction between them to happen. Though it didn't, I'm not disappointed, but I thought the two of them really stole as far as conversations that went on in that airport. They stole the show for me on both of those. Like when he's asking, when Hawkeye's asking him if little guy, you ready? He was like, yeah, no, wait, yeah, sure, I'm going. Go ahead, Arrow.
The other part I like, and tell me how you guys felt about this. I was bowling over when Spider-Man is attacking Ant-Man after he becomes Giant Man, which that was like right when he goes, "I got something big," and I was like, I knew that was, oh man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But then when Spider-Man's trying to take him down, he goes, "Remember that really old movie?
Yeah, I didn't appreciate that.
I
didn't appreciate that one bit. Not one.
I thought that was funny as hell.
Oh, it was hysterical, but I didn't appreciate it one bit.
You didn't like it?
No, being on that quote, because I felt like Tony, and I'm like, who the hell is this kid thinking? It's like, he must have been a tear in his mom's eye when that movie came out.
Yeah. Did you have any favorite parts of that fight scene, Brennan? Anything that just like?
I love Giant Ant-Man. That was funny. That was awesome.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Well, what I liked about Spider-Man and Ant-Man, the reason I like them as superheroes to begin with, and they captured it in the movie really well, is everybody else, they're like already courageous, they're already, great, and it's hard for me to put myself in their shoes, like, oh, if I had, a suit, I would be like, holy shit, this is amazing. He doesn't care anymore.
Yeah.
Ant-Man, like when Ant-Man gets out of the truck and he's like, oh, well, you're Captain America. What?
He has that romance.
Thanks for thanking me.
Yeah, he's like,
thanks
oh my god, I can't believe Captain America thought about me.
Yeah,
He's like, that's how, like, I would be. I'd be like, oh shit, I'm hanging out with Captain America. You want me to fight?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Uh-huh.
And then Spider-Man did the same thing where he's like, oh shit, you have the arm. That's so cool. He like the whole time. Like, I really liked it. It felt natural. It didn't feel like they were trying to just do that to be funny. It's like that's what those characters would actually do.
Especially
they're
considering
just people who've got these powers.
What, it was 6 months that Spidey has been involved, that he's been around.
Yeah.
So he's still really new to the game. And then Ant-Man had we've only seen the one mission for Ant-Man, so we don't know what he's been doing in this time frame, except in the lab. So, yeah, it is nice to see that natural feel of those two characters, because it looks like we get to see them grow.
They were both bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in this film, They're just like raring to go.
I looked at them as a representation of the fans watching the film, because of how wide-eyed they were, and you know, like Brendan said, if you were around these like powerful beings, we would be in that same way. We'd be like nerdgasming all over the place. So I thought that I could see them as a correlation to us watching how we would react.
Definitely. Brendan, let's get into some other things. You said that you had a couple, like a 1% of the movie that you didn't like, and you mentioned that it was kind of on the parts where they had their high moments. Explain a little bit to us what you mean there.
The one thing that bothered me, and it took me a while to think about it, is the way that, like, if you take Spider-Man out, he changes nothing.
Yeah.
Everything. Granted, they would have to do a fight. They had to take him down a little bit different, but for the most part, he doesn't do anything. Which I understand that's because of the late edition, and they basically had to shoehorn him in there. They did a very good job shoehorning him in there, but they had to shoehorn him in nonetheless. But the issue that I had with it was actually story-wise. The reason that they're fighting, at least on Iron Man's side, is he says, you know, we're really powerful, we're killing a lot of people, we're not keeping in check, you know, we need to tone it down, we need to have a boss, you know, try to stop this. And then he says, oh hey, I need help. I'm gonna go to this guy who's only been doing this for 6 months, and I'm going to throw him in the ring with other superheroes who've been doing this for how many years?
Who outclass him?
And they're really, really powerful. Granted, they did go to an airport where everything was evacuated. But when he went to grab him, that was not the plan. They did not know that they were going to, be able to fight at the airport and fight with everybody evacuated. It just, to me, it felt like Iron Man wouldn't have done that. If anything, it would have been Captain America saying, hey, I know you have these powers, these guys want to come for you and, lock you up or, give out your secret identity, and I want you to join us to help protect that. So that,
I definitely agree with that. I agree with that.
That stuck in me that I don't know why Iron Man did it, and it didn't feel right, and it still doesn't feel right, but I'm glad he's in there.
So on that point, what you mentioned, what I would have liked to have seen is both Cap and Iron Man at Aunt May's house at the same time and try to vie for him. Because there was no tit to tat. It was like, okay, and granted, this is how it happened in the books a little bit. Iron Man went to Spidey, and because of that, him revealing himself to the public of who he was, he received the Iron Spider armor. Well, in this case, they just gave him the upgraded suit. But besides that, I still would have liked to see both guys vying for Spidey. Like, it was a matter of importance for him to, side. Like, because I felt like, Spidey already looked at Team Cap like they were wrong automatically. He took one side and that was it, right? He didn't have, no thoughts of his own on this.
And he would have thought about that big time.
Yeah, especially.
I think both. Which you bringing that up, Brendan, is awesome. That's a great point. When I was thinking about that in that manner, and also when I was watching the film, I didn't think of that outright, but I kind of sensed it a little bit. It was almost to me like as if, Iron Man got there first. You know what I mean? Like crisscross applesauce, you're on my team. For real, it's like that's the way I thought. Like if Cap would have gotten there first, I think it would have been totally Team Cap. And I think somebody owes burgers from now that we found out that Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark upgraded the suit.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah. He owes them.
But no, that's
hold on.
Good point.
But the key is, I still think the facial features were supposed to be just him and not a. Because you didn't hear no click or words when you watched the movie. And I've watched it 3 times since then. I've yet to hear any type of movement in the eyes as far as any mechanicals. So
it's mechanical.
So
it's mechanical.
No,
it's mechanical. No, just give up. It's mechanical.
Not giving it up. I don't hear no clicks, no words.
All right, I'll take
I still pony up for the burgers.
Fat burger or something like that.
I'm still pony up for the burgers.
On that note, I will agree with you. That's what it should have been, but it is not. It's not that way. You can fight it all you want. Everybody knows that shit's mechanical.
And they laid it out that way too, because he was wearing those big old welder's goggles.
Yeah.
Originally. But yeah, no, that's a good point though about Spider-Man.
I did like how he explained that though.
Yeah. Oh my everything's at 11 now. It's too hard to focus sometimes.
Senses, which sort of makes him a little bit like Daredevil because he got bit by the spider. His senses are automatically upgraded.
That's awesome. Thank you for saying that. I watched it twice now. The second time, I realized they showed his spider sense. Did you guys catch that when Winter Soldier threw like a sign at him when they're in the tunnel? He threw a sign. He goes down and he ducks, and then the next thing they go, "Hey, you threw. I think you're missing this." Hey, and he threw it back at him. Yeah, you forgot this, and that's when they didn't show like the little things coming out from his head or anything.
But you could tell he saw.
But that was like, yeah, and I was like, oh, damn, there's a spider sense right there. Like that was.
I'm pretty
sure. Really cool.
I'm pretty sure with Homecoming they'll get more into the spider senses because I don't think in this film they had time to actually come up with something. But I might.
Or it might have.
Aunt May is hot.
Oh, you're very hot. You're very attractive, Aunt May.
Can I say that the lines they gave Robert Downey Jr. because basically he was the internet fan saying that Aunt May could not be hot, and her reaction to him saying she was hot were perfect because she was basically Marvel, and Tony Stark at this moment was all the internet fans saying this can't happen. Aunt May's not supposed to be hot, and that's how Tony was. He could not. Go ahead.
Side note, everybody, if you're not kids though, go watch The Wrestler.
Oh.
go watch The Wrestler. Yeah, Aunt May, Marissa Tomei. I actually really liked her in this. She seemed like a cool, loving Aunt May who just happens to be hot.
Not only that, you could see where Peter develops his wit from because they wrote her extremely witty. So I appreciated that.
Did you notice, Lynn? Because you're from Northeast part of the United States. For me, it was hard to notice, but I caught it here and there with Tom Holland. When he spoke, you could catch it, the accent.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that? Did you like that?
I liked the fact that it wasn't overbearing and it was just right. Yeah. And of course, being 15, 16 years old, your voice is already changing anyway. So it's not going to be that apparent anyway. So it was. I appreciated that. It sort of made him more real to the area he's supposed to be in. And if you think about it, when he's talking with Cap in the airport and he's holding up that terminal part, and he asks him where he's from. Did you notice Cap's dialect change, like his demeanor, his voice almost sounds.
He let his Brooklyn side come out.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people caught up, but you tend to pick him up.
It's like he let down a wall.
Yeah, almost. Exactly. He was letting him in a little bit.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Did you have any other negatives, would you say, Brennan, other than that kind of like shoehorn of Spider-Man in there?
No, I wish they had explored Scarlet Witch and Vision a little bit more.
Oh, they're teasing that.
That was good tease. Was there.
Yeah.
It was there.
Yeah.
I like the first thing they said was when he turns to her at the beginning, he goes, "We'll protect you." And right then I was like, "Oh yeah, it's happening."
Yeah, hit that. I still feel they're making Hawkeye a bitch. Like, he does not get any chance to really like show off or like show how like.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. For one thing, when it came to the Avengers, Hawkeye was one of my favorite characters. And the reason why is because he led his own team, the West Coast Avengers. And that's how I was reading up on Hawkeye. And I've always appreciated the character. And I feel like you don't see so much of Hawkeye's character yet because they give him in these little snippets. I understand they make him the family guy. They make him not really want to do this, and he just does it, to help out. But I want to see more of him. Like, I think he's underutilized.
They definitely got to figure out a way to do that. To do that for him, I think they've kind of. He's a smartass. He's smart aleck. But he's very astute.
Yeah.
He's very good at calling things like it is and seeing through the veil of things. I like that. But But yeah, they do got to explore him a little bit more. I did like it what he showed fight wise, especially when he started fighting Black Panther. He wasn't going to be able to beat Black Panther. We all know that, but he was able to stand his ground for a little bit. But you guys are right. Yeah, no, they definitely need to show some more. What would be really nice is if they actually do the Black Widow movie, but do kind of something with Black Widow and Hawkeye or something along those lines. That would be nice just to dive into that a little bit further.
Did you get the tease with Black Widow and Winter Soldier?
Which part?
Well, it's when her and him are interacting, and he basically slams her onto the table. And he's got his hand around her neck, and she's like,
"At least you can recognize me."
Yeah, at least recognize me. And I'm hoping that if and when they do this Black Widow solo project, like they because they said they were good to go for it. I hope they bring Winter Soldier for that and try to, and even if it's a little bit of a backstory part. He doesn't have to be in it as far as present day, but she can talk. She can mention some backstory with him involvement, because we know she's Russian. We know she's got that Russian background from being developed.
Yeah.
So there could be that common bond.
There's a couple bonds right there. Now that you mention it, that came to my mind real quick. One, you have the Winter Soldier, them fighting hand to hand, Winter Soldier. But also in the Winter Soldier, she talks about when she got shot by the Winter Soldier, and she's like, "No more bikinis,"
Mm-hmm.
So she could be referring to a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah,
that'd be cool if they actually dive into that. What about you, Lynn? Do you have anything that you can pick out that's negative about this film? Anything that you wish they did better?
What I don't like is towards the end of the film, I got two things up there. One with Zemo, I understood his reasonings. I got it pretty quickly with the whole phone call thing. What was that about, and why he was doing certain things? But what I didn't understand is you got five quote unquote Winter Soldiers, and he's just gonna dethaw him to put a bullet to his head with no real reaction. I thought because of timing they didn't go into it too quickly. And I may understand that, but I think his reasonings for getting rid of the Winter Soldiers don't make sense. His reasonings for the Avengers stuff, to have them infighting to destroy themselves, that made sense. And also where you were with Winter Soldier killing Stark's parents, and that's the whole reason for the end fight. I thought by this point, considering Tony went there as friends, he should have known, easy tactic that they were using against him, and he could have, shut himself down a lot quicker. I thought the whole fight between him, Cap, and Bucky, the reasons behind it were so unnecessary, because at the point he's telling Winter Soldier, "Hey, put your gun down, I'm here for peace." And then out of nowhere, you're going to just start beating the shit out of someone because somebody shows you a video that, for all you know, could be tampered. Tony's supposed to be smart. Right there, I got no sense of intelligence from Tony. And that's the only thing that I have a problem with, because there should have been a little bit more thought.
I get your perspective on that. I understand that, yeah. It's tough to rein that in, though. When, regardless of who the character is, it's tough to put a lid on that kind of emotion when you are standing in front of the guy who killed your parents and you just found out that they killed your parents. Especially when you have the ability to redeem them, revenge, and get vengeance.
But at the same time, you're taking the words of a known terrorist, especially now that you know who's behind everything, and that you know the Winter Soldier did not do these crimes that you were chasing him for. And here's this guy saying, "Oh, look at this." There was no train of thought. It was just like, okay, I saw it. Time to beat up.
Remember this also. Just remember this. He also has mommy and daddy issues, as we saw in the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
We saw that in the beginning of the film. He has issues with that whole thing.
He didn't get to say goodbye because he thought he'd see him.
He never got to resolve it. He had an uneasy relationship with his father. He loved his father, but it was an uneasy one. And he loved his mother truly. And it's a tough emotional, like I said, I think it's just really tough. It can go either way. I definitely see your side of it. Mm-hmm. And but we've also in this film, I think we saw a definite emotional arc from Tony that kept growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger, and it was almost like it was bound to explode at some point.
Right.
But I definitely think it was bound to explode, but I definitely also see where you're coming from. A friend of mine, she says that all Marvel movies feel rushed and not done well, and I tend to disagree with that. I don't know if that would hold true for this issue of yours or not.
It's not really. Like it was... I don't see it as a rush. I saw it more like Stark is a man of reason, a man of science, and he's taken the words of a villain who's been playing them this whole time, and figure he's going to let his anger, his emotions take over. And to me, that's not Tony Stark as a character. Emotional, feelings aside, early on in the film when he does the whole presentation at MIT about his parents, that should still not have driven him to the point of wanting to battle one of his friends and the guy that he's been chasing for however long, after he's told him, I'm standing down, you stand down. It didn't seem as logical. Not really. As far as rushed, no, I thought it was just, it had no real depth to it as far as reasonings.
All right, so I want to let's start wrapping this up a little bit. I want to ask you guys one last mainly focused question about the movie, because we're talking a little bit about Zemo, about the villain. What did you guys think of Zemo as the antagonist in this film?
I'm glad he didn't die.
Yes, very much so. I'm glad he didn't die.
The one thing I'm hating about the Marvel films is that their villains seem to be throwaways, and they look for death for their villains. They did it with Red Skull. They did it with Crossbones. I mean, I don't know how many Captain America villains are left for them to bring back besides the Serpent Society and Diamond.
Well, this is another argument for another day, but
him as a character,
Red Skull could still be alive.
Well, they've been teasing it and it's not happened.
Yeah.
So until
it hasn't happened, but it could be. It could be out there.
No, but Zemo as a character, I thought he was perfect. He made sense. His plot was reasonable. It gave him, a steady ground. I just don't get why the killing of the 5 super soldiers actually helped push his plan into fruition. That's the only thing that threw me off. Other than that, he's a great character, and the actor that played him, Daniel Brühl.
Yeah, Brühl. Yeah.
He's phenomenal. I like.
He's a good actor. He's in Glorious Bastards. He's in that movie. I think it was Drive, or with Chris Hemsworth. He's a good actor. What about you, Brendan? What did you think of Baron Zemo? Or no, I'm sorry, Helmut Zemo. He's not Baron Zemo yet.
Well, he's Colonel.
Yeah, Colonel Zemo.
I wasn't impressed. It didn't really seem like he did that much to me. They didn't flesh him out very well.
Okay.
Okay. Like, literally, when you mentioned it, I was like, when you first mentioned it earlier when we started, I was like, wait, who the fuck was that? And I was like, oh yeah, it was that guy. He was not, I don't know,
I think we're going to see him again.
I want to give credit. For me, it's like I'm giving credit to the Russos to have him and not try to put him in that role of he has to try to fight the Avengers. He doesn't have to try to do this, that. His role is very background kind of role as the antagonist. He's just kind of nudging things together, trying to push things together to get things to come to a collide,
Yeah, it's like he said, he's trying to destroy an empire from within.
And that's what I liked about it, is because when it came down to it, when he was having his monologue or his discussion with Black Panther, it kind of came to light. He understands he's not going to beat him in a fight. He can't do that. And the way to truly crumble the empire, which is the Avengers, and stop what they're doing, is to do it from within. So for me, I was okay with that. I was okay with him not being this major out there, like full front, like of the poster of the movie kind of villain. I was okay with that. Now let's just get into our final thoughts. And since we've been going on grading, let's keep on going with the grading. Your final thoughts, Brendan, and a grade, please.
I'm definitely excited to see what comes next. Overall, I thought the film was really good. The minor plot point that I didn't like was understandable because it was shoehorned in. I'd give it a solid A.
And you, Lynn?
I'm going to agree with Brennan on most of the points. I'm going to add the fact that one thing we didn't mention was Red Wing, the Falcon's little pet project. I am so glad they finally brought this character. He wasn't a real bird, but hey, it's a nod to him in the book. But also, I give it a solid A. It's such a freaking comic fan's dream come true. It's like nobody should pass this up. Definitely watch it.
I definitely have to agree with you guys. I thought that with this film, there were no holes in acting. All the acting was on par. Was great acting. Really superb acting in my perspective from Robert Downey Jr. and how he portrayed this emotional roller coaster. I thought the action was awesome, some new stuff that we haven't seen before in these movies, and everybody keeps saying it's always the same stuff. This was not the same stuff as before. I definitely enjoyed it. I've already seen it twice. I want to go see it again. I just had a really good time with it, and it makes me so interested in what is coming up next. I cannot wait. I'm really excited. I got to give this an A as well. Before we wrap up, anything else that we're forgetting, guys, on this film? Anything else that we need to be putting out there?
Mid and end credit scenes.
Oh yeah. Let's touch on those real fast. The two credit scenes. One mid credit, one end credit. First mid credit scene was with Captain and Bucky talking about how he's not safe with his mind all jacked up. They're putting him cryo freeze again in Wakanda, which totally sets up the Black Panther movie because people might be coming for Winter Soldier. You never know. What do you guys think about that, real quick?
Well, they're also going to be coming for the Panther too, because now
because he's holding him.
Yeah. So I think one, that was a beautiful setup. I cannot wait to see. I hope they stay in Wakanda for his movie, and don't branch out of that. And because I want to see the Panther in his element.
Do you guys think? Go ahead, Brent.
I agree.
Do you guys think Colonel Claw is gonna be making his rise to villainry, or is he gonna remain a lower level villain for the Black Panther series?
He's gonna be a bitch.
I don't see it too much of this. His Claw in general is not a grade A tier villain, so I don't see that happening.
Andy Serkis does a great job as Claw. And I'm excited to see where he does in the Black Panther series. But Black Panther series looks really good and really exciting from here on out. And then the second in the end credit, Lynn, why don't you tell us about that one?
Oh, that we go back to Queens and we see Aunt May tending to young Peter Parker about his black eye. Yeah, hot Aunt May, and
that's what it was about. It was just how hot she was.
And she's asking
her smile.
And she's asking about where Peter got, who he got into a fight with, and he's like, oh, some guy named Steve, from Brooklyn, and you can tell he's loving the fact that he's got these welts from his battle. He's not really too enthralled about it. And at the same time, he's looking at the new little Stark tech that he was given. He gets the familiar, if anybody's read the books from the early days, Spidey symbol that's like his version of the bat symbol.
Yeah.
But it's got a little bit more stuff around it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And it
looks like he's got his own app.
Yeah. But it's cool because they made you realize, hey, Spidey will be coming back. That was their key and why they did that whole scene there.
Want to know a cool fun fact?
Go ahead.
Shoot.
I didn't stay for that scene.
You did not?
I didn't see it.
I stayed for it twice.
Well, I've only seen it the one. I was actually, the reason I want to get off early is I'm going to go see it because Liz hasn't seen it. I went and saw it without her.
The Sunday that I took Ronan, well, actually that's Saturday, we went for a 10:30 show, okay? I was there at 9:15 and the theater was already halfway filled. So by the time showtime came, it was packed. One thing that I mentioned, him seeing Spidey and talking as a young kid, oh my God, did this kid fall in love with Spider-Man because of it. He's already accustomed that Daddy and him do not leave until the movie completely finishes. So he's sitting there, he's waiting patiently. And when he saw that it was Spidey again, and he saw the symbol, he was like, ooh, I want that. His first reaction.
Because for me, the movie ended, the first mid-credits ended like 4:30, and I wanted to be home by the time Liz got home. So I figured there was something else. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to see it again, or I'm going to read about it. So I figured it's okay.
Yeah.
Stay for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to, I really want to see it again. I might see it once or twice more. Cool. I'm buying the freaking DVDs as soon as it comes out.
Already pre-ordered.
It came out Tuesday.
No, I'm talking about Civil War.
Oh, Civil War.
Yeah.
About Civil War. I thought this was really cool. A little Easter egg when Winter Soldier's locked up in the thing and Daniel Bruhl's Zemo's about to ask him questions.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys notice what the front of the cage said?
The Hulk thing?
It said D23. I just thought that was cool.
Because I thought that was that was supposed to be the same thing that holds the Hulk in place.
I don't know. It was just a cage for an enhanced, I guess. But yeah, it said D23 on it.
And can I say, I am glad that they're at least keeping one character from the Hulk movie alive with Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, yeah.
Now he's in charge.
Heck, they almost killed him off screen, though. He had a heart attack.
Well, then he talks about it. But the fact is, we saw him leading up to the Avengers when he's sitting with Stark. And they talk about the Avengers Initiative. But we hadn't seen him since. And now we see him and he's leading the whole campaign to go after the Enhanced. Which makes sense because he's such a hater of Enhanced.
He did really good, though. He did really well. I liked what he did.
I'm wondering if they're going to bring him back as Red Hulk.
That's
that's the only reason I can think of him being kept around is because he is the Red Hulk in the comics, and they haven't done a Hulk film yet. So
maybe he'll come back in Thor Ragnarok, because it is a buddy road trip film with Thor and Hulk. So maybe they'll have Thunderbolt Ross in there somehow.
Maybe.
So with all of that being said, you guys, that's been AKA Geeks Captain America Civil War review. Remember to check us out on all of our social media. Go subscribe to the iTunes podcast. We are now on Android Play. If you got the Android phone, go check us out as well. Oh, Google Play. I'm sorry, Android Play. Google Play. Go like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, where this is going to go after we're done here. And Twitch, Twitter. And you guys, I'm Sean. Thank you for joining us. We also have Lynn. Say goodbyes.
Goodbyes.
And Brendan.
You didn't tell me to say anything.
Say have a good evening, guys. Brendan.
Have a good evening, guys, Brendan.
And there we go. All right, guys. And I'm Sean, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
AKA Geeks.